I guess I should call this one office managed training for sheets. Again, I got one of them videos out there. I'll try to find it when I post it up in here about floor manager training up at Paul's, the stone mill, Augustin Stone Supply. And we had to take an OSHA test, you know what I mean? So when we think about the scores on that OSHA test, and this is being a national standard and some other things, you could see how that data table would be really important and something that I would want to take one of those guys that or gals that doesn't understand this, because the office, the AR and AP are going to be pretty close, accounts receivable and accounts paying, except for that's going to be an HTLM page, and being able to Google your pages. Accounts payable is me spending time on the internet and other companies' pages, their actual, it's not just that the reading of the table, but first you gotta, like with the loader, shaking hands of danger on an OSHA test, you gotta, as much as the rule is, you got qualifications, I still have to be the safety officer on a date with a name and some kind of system to say that the early intro was appropriate, was adjusted for that, with an allotment, obviously, between the zeta function ABC XYZ, or ZYX in this case, that we started on a date, I couldn't get to you on time at site, and even if you were doing something, it was a very rudimentary aspect of the task because of a list like this. And then we'll start from there about your appeals on the notation of the weighted sociopathic score of 79. A lot easier. You know what? I can actually find you on the wave function or what you are, and at that point in time, we'll start chopping that up. At any rate, from my standpoint, I'm not looking at it from a marketing standpoint, am I? There wouldn't be this much information. I am always going to get my information from what is New York at this point in time. And those are the dates which are universal, at least on the day around the planet Earth, right? Because time zones, still one for their giving increments of what that is. Super critical, QMP, Schrodinger's cat, who are better, still doing great, and for in its individual task, absolutely vertical. I am doing another variance of this, I guess, is how you'd want to play that. So again, that's what we're doing. We know that that's what that is. So the subsector of this, they wouldn't even need a header, but headers help later on for a lot of things about keeping it clean and running your array not from a column but from a header's name. Super critical. I will definitely have my own drill. If that may come out of AR, I don't care which. Okay, so great. We have the SAT black body problem, 87, 115 IQ, right? 87, true fault. Hey, look at me. 87 is a really critical number at that point in time up to what is 100. And Pmax 100 is sunshine at noon. And we got to know when that is. You just can't, all right, well, I'm just screwing around with you a little bit. But so we're working on data tables. And as much as that is the one I gave you for a time set, they're pretty quick. It's just in the basic. I was using it for a flourish visual to help somebody understand the quantum mechanics, not necessarily that you could have that, but 2/3, maybe that's not the type of structure you're even willing to try to throw at it right now, because there's no reason to work out time functions yet, because TMI, way too much information. That's, even sunshine is maxed down to its time at noon as a visual operator with a photo receiving system that allows us to say that there's a difference between these points, 0 and A and 1, or 0 and A, 0 and 1, A1 and B1, regardless of what their 1 inch length, X length might arrive to be. So that's really important about why I want you to look at this as far as the accounts receivable, accounts payable, director information technology, floor managers, really, let's break down the E4 specialist with what this is. All right, I gotta let my poochie out, but you keep that in mind.